be able to make sure that all of us are in line. I'm sorry for the short period you are not able to join. Let me help one of us to join. Who is this? Eh, Joe is having a challenge of joining us. But here we go. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here today and for being here the previous days. I know now we are progressing on so well. I know we are progressing on so well. Yesterday we did a lot of work, and people said we overlooked. So today we are not going to overdo. We are going to just be following up and making sure that we are okay. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much. Give me a thumbs up to confirm that we are together and that you can be able to see our screen in not so long. I can see Petronila, I can see Lillian, I can see Jacqueline, I can see who is that? William, Stacy, Tracy, Priska, yeah, and the rest of the team. Chepkwej, I've just shared a link to her, so she's going to join us. And who else? Bwana Kinude Chauga will be also joining us in not so long. So thank you so much. Welcome. Now, today's class, yesterday, having been talking about clause number 4, clause number 5, clause number 6, and people said, I think it was too much. I decided, let me break down clause number 8 to clause number 10 so that it becomes manageable and so that it becomes easier for us to be able to handle. So during the day, I decided to sit down and prepare some good notes. I don't know if it's to the end, but I just did my best. So welcome to clause number 8, which is operation. You remember clause number 4 was a context of the organization. We talked about clause number 5, which is on leadership. Clause number 6, which is on planning. Clause number 7, which is on support. Now, clause number 8, which is operation. And as I told you from the beginning, clause number 8 is the engine of this ISO 22000. Is the main clause actually. Is the clause that carries the most weight. And you are going to see, even in terms of are we together? I can hear some background noise, and I don't know from which end. Oh, thank you, Tracy. Maybe every one of us can mute so that I don't hear the background noises. Thank you. I don't know. Audible now? William, am I audible?
Yes.
Niko sawa?
Kabisa, kabisa.
Sawa. Thank you so much. Now let's proceed. I was telling you, this is clause number 8. So why clause number 8 matters the most, or why is it the most important thing? Clause number 8 is the operational engine of food safety management system. It is the engine. So when we say it's the engine, we are meaning it's the most important parts of ISO 22000, and we are going to see as we go along. Number 1, clause number 8 delivers the food safety outcomes. We've been planning from clause number 4, clause number 5, clause number 6, clause number 7. We've been planning. It's now time to execute the plan. Execution of the plan is now the clause number 8. Auditors audit controls, not intentions. That statement is very important to be there. The auditors audit controls, not in the intentions. When an auditor comes to your organization, they don't come and they don't want to listen that we are intending to do this. No. Tell us what you have already been doing. That is why we say clause number 8 is the engine. Clause number 4 to 7 was the design of the system. We've been designing the system. Now, it is time to ensure that the system plus the engine is running. That is clause number 8. And clause number 8 is all about execution. I was telling you, let's now execute the plan. So when we are planning, when we talk about the execution, we also talk about now the operational level of the BDCA cycle. You remember, BDCA cycle was in two levels. The first one was organizational. The second one was operational. Now, we want to execute the operational level by B, planning. That is why you see clause number 8 is all about planning. Number 2, by executing, doing, BD. So let me just pick my pen. So P is for plan. Why is it not writing? Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know. It cannot be able to write because I'm on a different platform. It's okay. No problem. I was just saying this P is for plan. Implementation is do. Monitoring is check. And then verification is act and correction. So actually verification is all about monitoring and verification. This is one and the same, which is about check. And then now act, which is correction. So we are executing the BDCA cycle in clause number 8. So it's all about planning, implementation, monitoring and verification, and finally correction. And we say if clause number 8 fails, certification becomes paper paste, because if you cannot be able to prove that clause number 8 is working, which is operation, then the food safety management system becomes a paper. Tuko pamoja? Thumbs up. Good. Naona tuko sawa, watu wanasema wako tuko pamoja. Now, clause number 8 has 9 sub clauses. That's why I was telling you it's one of the biggest. It has 9 sub clauses. And we need to talk about each one of them, because we start from operational planning and control. P. We are now planning. You see? After operational planning and control, we have the prerequisite programs. And actually, I want you to note this one, I was making it so deliberately because it's going to be the action piece. Even what the auditors will be looking at when you are implementing the system, I'll be able to mention in our class. Number 3, traceability. Number 4, emergency preparedness and response. Number 5, hazard control. That is the hazard planning, the hazard analysis in general. Number 6, updating the FSMS information. Number 6, controlling of monitoring and measuring. Number 8, that was number 7. Number 8, verification. And number 9, control of non-conformities. So all this is all about what clause number 8 does. Let's get to deeper into each and every one of them. Clause number 8.1, operational planning and control. What are you planning? Organizations shall plan operations. That is number 1. You shall be able to implement controls. You should be able to monitor processes. You should be able to control the changes and update the food safety management system activities. What you plan operations is like every day you go to an organization, they have to ask, what are we going to do today? So and so you are responsible for this. So and so you are going to do this. The quality department, can they check on this? You are planning. Once you are done with the planning in the morning, you execute the plan. It could be Monday morning, you are planning the week, or it could be on a daily basis, depending, or it could even be monthly. You are planning operations. Once you've planned, you now implement the controls. You now implement the plan. And then you maintain the process. When you say maintain the processes, ensure that the processes are up to date. Remember yesterday we say maintain is to keep it up to date. After maintaining, the next course of action is to control the changes. Whenever there are changes, and you are going to see, I'm going to mention something about changes as we go along. Whenever there are changes, let us know that these changes occurred. Why did it occur? When did it occur? And like in general, do we anticipate any other changes that are yet to come? And finally, if there were changes, update the system. Update it. That is 8.1. And what this means is Operations must be planned. You should be proactive rather than reactive. I know by now you understand proactive and reactive when it comes to risk-based thinking. Operations must be planned. It will be proactive. You should have already planned that this is what you are going to do and then do them. You don't wait until things get out of hand, then you react. Number two, controls must be documented and followed. You must document the changes or controls or what are you are doing. Like you must generate data. If you remember, I told you under operation, under the do part, it is where we are generating data. We are generating data. Very important for you to be able to know that. Sorry. The next thing is changes must be controlled. What are you controlling? One, the processes. If there is any changes in the process, make sure you mention. If there is any changes in terms of suppliers, make sure you document that. If there is any change of equipment, ensure that it has been documented and you have ensured that it is working normally. And if there is any changes in terms of the products we will deal with as an organization, you'll be able to make a mention of that. That is what it means by operational planning and control. When like operational planning 8.1 in reality means operation has to be planned, controls has to be documented, and changes have to be controlled. Those are the three things you need to be able to have in mind. What do you need when auditors come? What do you need under these 8.1 subclause? One, they need to see process flow diagrams. You see the production process flow. Show us the process flow diagrams. The auditors want to see that. Because when they see the process flow diagrams, it means you are already planned. You know what you are doing. Because you cannot wake up and do a product without even knowing how it is developed. So those production flow plans or flow processes has to be documented. Number two, the standard operating procedures has to be aligned with the hazards. Like where there are hazards, you should be able to have the SOPs, the standard operating procedures, so that you can be able to, these SOPs will help you reduce the hazards or prevent the hazards from occurring in general. Number three, operational control plans. Operational control plans are what you are doing in reference to OPRP, operational prerequisite programs. So the operational prerequisite programs, the OPRP, has to have the control plans, because how do you plan to counter the things? So the OPRP, operational controls and plan. Number three, which number four, the fourth thing which the auditors look for is change management records. When there is changes, I told you from this one when we talked about what it means is changes have to be controlled. When you control these changes, then you must come and give us records that you did change the of the things that change. Tuko pamoja mpaka hapo? Is 8.1 clear? Just taki kukimbia mfike mwisho mseme leo mmetukimbiza mbio. Mimi nataka kwenda leo pole pole, sina haraka, because at the end of the day tukimaliza tumemaliza, and we have hii training ilikuwa inafaa kwenda mpaka lini William? Ilikuwa mpaka 30th. So bado tuko na siku ngapi? Tuko na 28, tuko na 29 na tuko na 30. We have 3 more days, so we are good. So hakuna haraka. I want to just make sure muko sawa kabisa. Number 2, 8.2, prerequisite programs. Prerequisite programs, by now you should know what they are. Stacy, PRPs ni nini? Stacy. PRPs. Yes.
Ni zile the good things.
The good things. What are these good things?
Good manufacturing practices, good hygiene practices, good storage practices.
So you know what they are, but how do you define prerequisite program?
Hmm. The vitu, the things we do to prevent like harm or a hazard from occurring.
Yeah, I think you have an idea, but let's get to hear somebody else who got a better definition of what PRPs are. That is a good one, Tracy. Let's give Tracy a round of applause. Hata kama hajasema vizuri hiyo ingine, amejua ni hiyo good things, the good things. Lilian, what's the idea, Tracy? Utuambie PRPs ni nini?
Wow, I'm exhausted.
No, it's like definition too.
Sijui.
You're not sure. Okay. Briska, no problem. It's okay not to know. Briska,
Yes.
what do you have in mind?
I think there are basic conditions that are necessary to meet hygienic environment in order to produce food that are safe.
Safe food. Can you repeat that again for the purposes of wale wenye hawajasikia vizuri?
There are basic conditions that are necessary that are necessary to meet hygienic environment so that you can produce food that are safe.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Let's give a round of applause to Briska first. Let me request kindly. I'm having a friend from the US calling me. Najua tulikuwa tumesema sichukui simu, lakini mnikubalie nichukue hii tu peke yake. Hey, mambo. Mambo ni mbaya. Naomba. I'm requesting some few minutes, please. Let me finish up with the class and then I call you. I know niko na shida mingi lakini ni sawa. Sawa. In about 20-30 minutes nitakuwa nimemaliza. Yes. Poleni, I'm sorry for that. Tuko pamoja. Najua Tracy atanimaliza tukimaliza darasa leo lakini ni sawa. I had to take that. Sawa. So those are the things which under audit we look up to. The process flow diagrams, the SOPs aligned and operational control plans and change of management. That was it. 8.2 prerequisite programs. And Priska has given us perfect definition of what PRPs are. These are the basic requirements that we need to meet for us to be able to produce safe food. So those basic requirements for us to have a basic, like to have a very, or be able to provide an environment where we can be able to have safe food production. So basically, those are the PRPs. And examples are the good manufacturing practices, good agricultural practices, good hygiene practices, good laboratory practices. So those are the, in principle, what we mean. Now, good. The PRPs are mandatory. That is one thing you should be able to know. Number two, they are risk-based and process-specific. Process-specific to mean they are specific to a particular process. And I know by now you know what a process is. Jacqueline, process ni nini? Jacqueline, what's a process?
Process ni the procedure Of converting the inputs to outputs.
Perfect. It's the conversion of inputs to outputs. Sindio? It is a systematic or is a set of interrelated activities that transforms inputs into outputs. That is a process. And we are going to see how we need to be thinking towards a process. And our mind should be wired towards process-based thinking. We also have risk-based thinking. What is risk? Chapkwech, risk ni nini? Chapkwech,
Yes,
what is risk?
these are pessimistic thoughts. You are pessimistic.
They are pessimistic thoughts. But what is risk? You are asked to define risk. Napenda hiyo idea venye umesha, like you remember what I said even when it comes to what risk is. That is one, it's a brilliant one. But what is risk? Defining it. Because we are saying prerequisite programs reduce baseline risks before hazard. Like before you implement hazard, you have to implement the PRPs because of what we refer to as risk. But what is risk?
It is the likelihood. Likelihood. It is a likelihood of something will happen.
Along with what?
Severity, impact.
Perfect. Tupige makofi. Si ameng'ang'ana mpaka akajua. It is the likelihood and the severity of an hazard occurring. The combination between between likelihood and severity. Severity is basically the impact, as you've just mentioned. So that is it. Chepkwech, that was a good one. So that's what PRP is all about. So common PRPs we should be able to have. This was one of the things I felt it was important for me to mention because we've been talking about prerequisite programs, is a good practices. Yet when we talk about the things which we deal with, like when we say good manufacturing practices, all these are good manufacturing practices. The ones you are seeing here. So we have personnel hygiene. That is process specific risk. It is risk based. So personnel hygiene because of the personnel. Cleaning and sanitation. Pest control, supplier control, equipment maintenance, allergen management, waste management. All these things, you should be able to have them documented. Like how is personnel hygiene being monitored? How is cleaning and sanitation done? Inclusive of the records. No. Pest control, how is it done? Including the records for pest control, supplier control. How do we deal with risks with suppliers, long-term suppliers, one-time suppliers, emergency suppliers? No. Equipment maintenance. When there is a change of equipment, what do we have to check? Allergen management. When we talk about allergens, how do we control allergens? Waste management. So all these are what we refer to as the common prerequisite programs we deal with. These are what we refer to as the basic things we need. Basic. Personnel hygiene, basic. Cleaning, basic. Pest control, basic. Supplier control, basic. Equipment maintenance, basic. Allergen management, basic. Waste management, basic. And here, I've been able to mention something in the picture on our side, on our left-hand side. Right on my left, in our right-hand side. OPRP and CCP, know the backbone of food safety management system. These are the three things at the backbone of food safety management system. Number one, prerequisite programs. These are the basic conditions and activities necessary to maintain hygienic environment across a food chain. Sio ndo tumesema sahi? Na tukasema these are the general preventive measures. They are not specific to hazards. They are general preventive. It's general preventive measures and support the foundation of safe food production. These are the things that support the foundation of safe food production. Examples: cleaning and sanitation schedules, waste management, maintenance of raw materials, pest control, personnel hygiene, control of supplies and raw materials. So these are just basically examples of the PRPs. Let's talk about the operational prerequisite programs. These are control measures for specific hazards and requires monitoring and control. They help you prevent hazards from becoming a food safety issue. It is helping you from preventing hazard from becoming a food safety issue. Examples. No, these are examples of some of the CCPs and OPRPs. Maybe on the table, your quick comparison table. I don't know if you can be able to see. You come in as yes, unfortunately, I cannot be able to zoom in. But I'll share with you these notes. So focus for PRP is general hygiene. Focus for OPRP is control specific significant hazard. And CCP, prevent or eliminate critical hazard. So it's significant, then the other one is critical. Monitoring for PRP should be periodical. OPRP should be documented and budgeted. That means it should be phased. CCP is continuous and it is critical monitoring. So those are just some of the things you need to be able to check. For example, cleaning is a PRP. OPRP, an example is metal detection. When you are detecting metals, it is just, you cannot have the number of metals to, you say at the ukipata this number of metals in the Ozaza, because a CCP should have critical limits. And OPRP does not have critical limits. That is in simple terms. So, hapo tuko sawa? Perfect. Nataka kuona kila mtu akisema tuko sambamba. Naona Eric ako miongoni mwetu. Karibu sana kiongozi. Now, the common misconceptions we have is PRPs are generic. They are not generic. Generic means like Nile Tula Ani. You just should be there. No, you just cannot copy paste. No. PRPs should be like, they should be functional. Okay. Number 2, PRPs are site specific and risk based. That is the reality. The first one, PRPs are generic. That is wrong. PRPs are site specific. That is the right thing. And they are risk based. They are not generic. They are generic. So I just felt it is important for me to be able to mention that. Under 8.2, you remember we are still under 8.2. Under 8.2, we have required records. The required records, PRP procedures. PRP procedures, for example, cleaning procedures, cleaning schedules, monitoring records, verification records, training records. So we need a lot of records here. Procedures and records. Procedures mean, how do you do cleaning? Procedures is, how do you do emergency procurement? Those are procedures. And then apart from procedures, you have the records you need to keep. The records for cleaning, it's not records per se, but the schedules. You should be able to tell me who is supposed to be cleaning what. I don't know. Somebody, kama mtu ameingia one of the washrooms, kama uingie to a very good, a working supermarket, ile mzuri, like Naivas, try to use their washrooms. Ukiingia kwa washroom utapata mpaka cleaning schedule imewekwa hapo. Sijui kama hizo zenu za kampuni mmeweka. William, wameweka ama wanalala?
Iko.
Mnajua ni nani ataosha saa ngapi?
Yes.
Priska, huko kwenye iko?
Iko.
Okay. Lilian, iko?
Iko.
Good. So at least I can say you are working in a good industry. So wengine kama haiko bado jiulize maswali. Nafaa kuwa unaandika application letter saa hii. Anyway, good. Let's move to the third category of that is the 8.3 traceability. What should be like traceability? What comes to your mind when you hear traceability? It's about, can you be able to trace Unaona? Traceability. Tracy, hebu tuambie traceability ni nini? Tuko na mtu anaweza tuelezea traceability ni nini? Why you call traceability? Tracy. Ama nimechoma. Tracy.
Okay, traceability.
Yes.
Ability.
Yes.
Ability to track something. Ability to track something and find it. Traceability. That is the closest really.
That is the closest you can think of. Why
Ability
is
to
saying
track
that is the closest to that?
something.
Na hiyo ndo china yako.
And
You are Tracy.
yeah. Let's say you know you reach mahali unafaa ufike au mahali unataka kufika, and usually end up getting a lot.
Perfect. Thank you. Able to pick your traceability. She's telling us the ability of person. Good. Yeah. So traceability in simple terms is the ability to be able to track. You can be able to track something. So, for example, if I produce something today, okay, let me tell you a very good example of traceability. My good friends, maybe I should tell you this. I'm a fan of Chef Koinange, the only who Chef Moja. So I like him. I like to follow the things he does. So you remember some years back when he lost his friend, the former Safaricom CEO, Bob Colimo. He was giving an example, not an example. He was giving a story that Bob called them for a drink a few days before, and they were toasting to that whiskey, very expensive one, and when they were toasting that with the other boys club. I think it was called the boys club. So later on, during the burial, you remember President Uhuru Kenyatta saying, hiyo whisky pia mimi nilikuwa hapo na nyinyi mlikunywa yote mkamaliza. So they had to look for the same whiskey. You know, that time Uhuru Kenyatta was the president. So they had to trace that specific whiskey. It was a 59-year-old whiskey. So they had to trace it back. And they found one in a small country in it's an Arabian country. There is only one bottle was still available in the whole world. One bottle. And they had to trace it. So that is what we refer to as traceability. They could be able to look for the same patch. Hiyo moja yenye ilitolewa pamoja. Same type, everything. But now this one was in a Caribbean country. So they had to trace it all the way. Wainunue. I think they put around 150 million. Hiyo ka whiskey kamoja. And that is all about traceability. I don't know if it's a relevant example. Tell me, was that a relevant example or not relevant? Because we can be giving irrelevant example, but I think that could be a relevant example because of that tracing it. So you can be able to trace it based on the patch numbers. That is all about traceability. So traceability enables you rapid response, product withdrawal, because rapid response in case there is any issue. Product withdrawal from the market. If there is an issue with the patch, you can be able to withdraw it. Effective recall. Effective recall means you can be able to really effectively and efficiently recall. Like the period of time you should be able to take from withdrawing a product should be very, very minimal. And regulatory is a regulatory compliance. You must have badge numbers. Badge number is not something to just have it there. So it is a very, very important thing to have. A question. If a complaint occurs today, how fast can affected patches be identified? We said traceability must be fast and accurate. William, if today tupate shida kwa products yenu yenye mko nayo kwa market, how fast can we get back the products from the market?
It might take maybe Maybe 2 days.
Why 2 days? How are you going to do it? If you are the person to call for recall, how are you going to do it?
You first you identify the batch that had been released.
That is step number 1. Know the batch.
Yeah, you note that batch that had been released. Then you identify the time, the day it was released. And then you identify the areas that it had been disbursed to.
How do you do that?
There's the record. There's a record where in the naitangwa aje huku kwa dispatch.
Hapo kwa dispatch.
Hapo kwa dispatch kuna pahali kuna kwanga hiyo record ya hii mzigo inaenda wapi.
Wakiandikaga wanaandikaga nini hapo kwa dispatch?
Kuna
what are the details they normally indicate in the dispatch records?
Wanaandika the customer, the
okay, don't tell us this. Everyone is an assignment to everyone. Make sure uniambie kesho ukirudi kazi, make sure umepatana na mtu wa dispatch, ulize when you are dispatching a product, what are the details do you capture? The product details. I don't know, I'm not interested in the customer. What product details do you capture? And if the batch number is one of them. William, tunaelewana?
Yes.
Yeah, just ensure if the batch number is one of them. And sometimes I might need evidence. So you know, assignment nimewapatia. Everyone, is that clear? You can be able to tell me, like, when a product is being released from the factory, do you know what are some of the things that need to be identified? So that in case there's a recall, how do we do the recall? So it's a food safety concern. And you should be able to know that. So under traceability, let me just give you a quick answer. What I expect is the batch coding system, the batch number. Number 2, the raw materials, intake logs. So for this batch, can you be able to for example, you are in quality assurance, can you be able to identify that this batch was from these raw materials? Because now the raw materials intake logs should be able to indicate the production that gave out or the output. That was the input. Now the output is those products. And then you now dispatch that product. So those are the things you need to check. Production records, like how was the production done? What time, by who was, all that. Distribution records. Distribution, where did this batch went to? And then the mock recall records. Now, when you have recalled, you come and do analysis. And then the results of that mock recall. So that is how traceability records should be. These are the traceability records that should be kept. Is that clear, everyone? William, hapo sawa? Pamoja. Thank you. Good. Chepkoech, tuko pamoja? Ama nimewakimbiza? Chepkoech, tuko sawa? Kindly unmute and let me know. Nimeharakisha. Okay. Sawa. Nimesema under traceability records. Acha nitoe ile sweta tena. Naona siku hizi mambo inachemka mbio mbio. Leo siwezi toa chesi, my friend. Siwezi ongelea maneno vitu ya wasungu, tuachane nayo. Acha tuongelee vitu ya
uliona mambo.
Vitu ya wasungu tuachane nayo. So traceability records. Number 1, batch coding system. Batch coding is like, what are the batch numbers? The batch numbers that you are able to, when you are producing, every batch you produce has a batch number. Number 2, when you are dealing with raw materials, there is that log. Like the logs is where the source of those raw materials. For example, when I was working for the dairy industry, one of the things is when milk comes in, I have to indicate who brought the milk. Like the supplier name, the volume that was applied, and the quality parameters. Maybe the titratable acidity, maybe the acid, the acidity, the pH, all the other bacterial load, that is about the, what do you call, microbiological results and the chemical results, all that. Those are what you refer to as raw material intake logs. That is what you should be able to keep records of, so that if the raw material was the problem, because if the product is an issue, we go and say, how was this product produced? So we go to the production records. That is number 2. The production records. See how was the product produced. From the production records, we say who was the source of the raw material. Now we go to raw materials intake log. So batch coding to tell us the production time and records, then it gives us the raw material intake. And then now say, where did this product went to? Ilienda wapi? Distribution records. And then when you recall the products, you do the analysis. When you do analysis, you keep records which refer to as mock recall records. The mock recall record is when you recalled it, you did analysis. What are the results of your analysis? Tuko pamoja? Thumbs up. Naona ni kama yote iko sawa saa hii. Yeah, thank you. Let's move to the next one, 8.4. I'm really trying to make sure nimemaliza 8 peke yake. 5 more to go. Emergency preparedness and response. When you talk about emergency preparedness, how are we preparing for emergencies? In simple terms. And some of the emergencies in food safety includes power failure. I know this one is normally mnafikiriaga si yenu. Now, when auditors come down to see, how do you prepare for power failure? Maybe you have a backup generator, or maybe you have a solar system, whichever the case. Number 2, water contamination. What will you do when there is water contamination? How are you prepared for water contamination issue? Number 3, fire or flooding. When there is fire, how are you preparing? How are you prepared? For example, what you refer to as the fire. Well, that is why yesterday I was telling you, if your company does not have a fire marshal, lazima upande ung'ang'ane, will improve, and maybe fast aid and all that. So fire, fast aid, flooding, and the rest. Product tampering. In case there is a product tampering, is tampering or tampering, whichever alikufunza ni sawa. For me nasikiaga wanasemaga product tampering. Tampering, whichever. Moja ya hizo mbili. And then supplier fraud. Supplier fraud, in case there is fraud, how are you prepared to handle fraud? And that is why it's important. If you ever hear me, if you ever hear that there is a training on food fraud and food defense, kindly make sure you are part and parcel of it. And this is what actually we are discussing in our first webinar of this year. And our next webinar is coming up on the 10th of February. Good. Food safety emergencies. 1, power failure, water contamination, fire, product tampering, supplier fraud. So how are you prepared for this? This is how you must have 1 emergency response procedure. How do you respond to an emergency? For example, if there's an emergency to do with fire, how do you respond to fire? Tuko pamoja? How do you respond? Number 1, in your organization, you should have a fire assembly point. Let the people, maybe you ring the alarm. Maybe that could be one of the things. Once you ring the alarm and show the people have, what do you call? Convert in a fire assembly point. Then take the roll call to ensure that everyone is there. And then no one has been trapped inside. Those are the emergency response procedures. Those are some of the things you need to develop as an organization. Number 2, define responsibilities. Who is responsible for what? Fire marshal, who is responsible for fire? Okay? Response action. What should you do in case of fire? What should you do in case of flood? What should you do in case of power failure? What should you do in case of food fraud? Or fraud. In fraud, have a fraud. You're fraud. Those are response action. And then post-incident evaluation. Once you are done with the incident, now evaluate what could be the cause. What is the impact? Were we prepared enough? What can we do next so that we can avoid? That is what we refer to as post-incident evaluation. Tuko pamoja hapo? Are we together, ladies and gentlemen? Priska, tuko sawa? Priska ni kama good. Nilifikiria umeenda kukula. Audit expectations. 1, emergency response plans. How do you plan to respond to emergencies? Number 2, the incident records. The incident records are what we refer to as, you remember the leading and the lagging indicators. So incident records are part of the lagging indicators. Drill or simulation reports. When you are doing drills, you know, fire drills. I don't know. Joy Angela, do you know drills? Joy Angela. Joy, good evening.
Good evening too.
Yes, are you aware of the drills?
Pardon?
Are you aware of what we mean by the word drill? Drills, the drills.
Drills.
Relations.
A drill.
Yeah.
DRILL.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I am aware what a drill may mean, but I don't know which point of view you want me to explain.
Have you ever been in an organization that there is a drill?
Maybe a fire drill, yes.
Fire drill.
Yeah.
Perfect. I just wanted to know if you are aware of what a drill is. Everyone,
Okay.
are we all aware of what drills is? What a drill is? Even a fire drill is a drill. Perfect. Naona kila mtu ako sawa. Ako sawa. Good. Those are the things that we need to have. In case there is any drill, you need to write the report. And when you have that report, those are what the auditors will come and look. Number 4, corrective actions. What actions have you done in case there was an incident? What corrective actions have you taken? So those corrective actions you've been able to take are part and parcel of the things. Tuko sawa? Thank you. 8.5, hazard control. This is the core of clause number 8. Very, very important. Clause 8 integrates the hazard principles, risk-based thinking, and operational controls. Hazard principles, the 7 of them, all of them, from hazard analysis all the way to documentation and improvement. Number 2, risk-based thinking. And by now, you know, risk-based thinking is the aspect where it's a proactive, where you think of risk before it occurs and try to be able to prevent it from occurring. Operational controls are now what happens during production when you are trying to prevent hazards or recontaminations from occurring. Hazard identification. We talk about the 4 types of hazards. That is the biological hazards, the chemical hazards, the physical hazards, and the allergens. Biological hazards, there are about 4. Nani hajaongea leo? Penina, good evening.
Evening too. Thank you.
Yes, give me the 4 types of biological hazards.
There's bacteria.
Bacteria,
Bacteria, viral, fungi.
virus, fungi. Number 4.
And molds. Molds. Molds.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Biological. Yeah, and insect. I'm a pest. Pest.
Are you sure?
Pest.
Hapa Petronila kidogo anajaribu kutudanganya, si ndio? Priska, unaelewana na Petronila ama ametudanganya kidogo? Priska?
Yes.
Amesema correctly amesema bacteria, akasema virus, akasema fungi, na hiyo nimekubaliana. Hizo zingine amesema ni ukweli.
Si kuna yeast and molds ama?
Are you sure? Fungi, example of fungi ni nini?
Example of a?
Fungi.
Yeast.
Yeast.
Sasa mbona mnanipatia tena yeast and molds as a separate one?
Parasites.
Parasites. That is number 4. Nini ingine? There's only one last one.
Those which can multiply.
Which one are those? Biological, all of them can multiply. Actually, that is why it's called biological, because they have life.
Agents, living agents.
All of them are living agents. Mambo inaanza kuchamuka. Stacy, S. Hebu tuambie maneno. Tuanze ya kwanza.
Yes.
Let's start. The first one, biological. Bacteria. Sindio? Stacy. Mimi nimepotea ama ni watu ndio wataki kuongea? Stacy, tuko pamoja? Acha nitafute Gregory. Sasikia sauti yako Gregory. Gregory?
Yes.
My brother, let's discuss the biological. There should be 5. One example.
Come again.
The examples or the types of biological hazards. There should be 5.
Of course, the bacteria, virus,
Yes.
parasite, fungi.
Bacteria, parasites, fungi.
Bacteria, virus,
Rodents.
virus.
So ni 3. Na ngoja ingine 2.
Rodents.
Wrong.
No,
Rodents.
there are 4.
Pests.
4. Ni gani ingine?
Bacteria, fungi, virus, parasites.
Parasites. The last one? There is one last one.
Those which can live on the surface of the
Tracy.
Pests. Pests.
Pest, no. Pest, yes, they can be biological, but it's not a major category. I'm looking for that major category. William.
Wacha niokoe jahazi.
Okoa jahazi bwana. Waambie hii kitu inaitwa B.
Hii kitu inaitwa prions.
Prions.
Yes,
P-R-I-O-N. Sijui kama mmesikia, mko sawa? At least Petronila anaelewa. I was seeing Petronila almost telling us prions. Hey, Chapkwe, you don't know prions? Hey, Lillian pia hujui prions? Hey, okay. They have P for Paka. E means the problem with today, I'm really sorry, I cannot be able to write. Kalamu yangu imekataa. So tomorrow I'll know what I'll do. But prions is P-R-I-O-N. And the type of protein, especially around, yes, William ametuandikia hapo kwa comment section. Acha hata nisiongelee tena. Those are there are 5. And you have not been in this class for hazards, I don't know, you can plan. Hata kuna ingine ya self-paced, unaweza jisomea peke yako. So that one is, you don't have to be in my class. but we'll just meet twice. Tutapatana siku ya kwanza na siku ya mwisho. By the way, if you want to just learn about hazards and that's even other things. It's a partnership we are having with RVIPs, and we are giving out hazard, and you can be able to learn about the biological hazards. Kuna prions, kuna parasites, kuna bacteria, kuna viruses and parasites. So there are 5 biological hazards. Chemical, tuko na intentionally added and unintentionally added chemical. Physical hazards are the extraneous matter. The allergens are, these are the allergens are. Mbona najaribu kujibu swali yenye mtu anafaa kujibu hapa. Benina, uko aje? I love Jacqueline. Jacqueline pia amenyamaza sana. Benina,
Yes,
allergens,
yes.
allergens ni nini?
I'll say they are more of chemical compounds that have abnormal reaction to someone's body once injected.
Ingested. See, injected?
Ingested.
Ingested. Once consumed. When you consume allergens or food containing allergens, you have some sensitive segments of people have a reaction to it. And sometimes these reactions could be so acute. When it is so acute, we had someone here. Angela, I think you are the right person to explain what allergens are.
Me?
Yeah.
Kwa sababu nilipata experience first hand.
Yes, first hand experience.
Okay, allergens are substances that when consumed, they cause an allergic reaction, a certain reaction on someone's body.
What is the, like, what are the characteristics of someone who has an allergen?
Inflammation,
itchiness,
irritation.
Unajua sasa saa hii mtu akiuliza unajua vizuri. Ungeulizwa hiyo last week part 1 ungejibu. You could struggle, sio?
No, actually I had an idea about allergens. Considering I used to work in a company where we'd actually label our products with the allergens, traces of allergens, because there's some people who never ate food that had gluten.
Yeah, gluten. Actually, there are 14 known allergens.
Yes.
That has been documented, and of the 14, 8 of them are well known. And those 8, one of them is cereals containing gluten. Is one of the major examples. Number 2 is dairy. Number 3 is eggs. Number 4 is crustaceans, what we refer to as the seafood. We have tree nuts. We have ground nuts. Ama zile tunaita peanuts. Tuko na number 7 ni gani? Which one is the other one? Nasahau. Kuna mollusk. Kuna gani ingine?
Same soy.
Kuna sulfite. Kuna soya. Simsim is it's part of what you refer to. Is it a tree nut or what? Which category does simsim falls under? Is it a tree nut or a ground nut or which type of?
Tree nut. I think tree nut is under the ranks of macadamia and stuff.
Yeah, tree nut is like of macadamia, but simsim is not like they have not documented simsim as an example, but I think it should fall under a certain category. How do we get simsim?
I also think you should. I also think you should also talk about pineapple, because they were also considering on adding it to the allergen list.
Yeah, but at the moment they have not added it. It has not been documented yet. Is that the case, Joy?
But allergen, allergen are supposed to be protein in nature.
Yeah, they should be protein in nature. That is the first thing. That is why I was to ask a question to our good sister Jacqueline. Kuna kuwa na watu wanasema kuna allergy ya baridi. Hiyo inakuwa allergy ama ni stories za Java? Allergy ya baridi inakuwaga Jacqueline?
Inakuanga.
Inakuwaga.
Hata mimi
But allergy
nasikianga
is
hivyo.
protein. Is baridi protein? I don't know. These are one of those big questions I've been struggling to answer. Gregory,
Maybe
what do you
not in the
ile ya baridi ni allergy ama ni stories za Java?
Hakuna allergen hapo, story za Java.
Hiyo ni stories za Java. Hakuna allergy hapo. Hapo tunakubaliana na Gregory. Lakini mtu akiniambia ati oh, sijui umefungana kwa na allergy. Hiyo kufungana na allergy inatoka wapi jameni? Anyway, that's a long story. So type under hazards also you need to recommend risk to talk about risk because risk is the severity and likelihood, or the severity and likelihood combined brings about risk. You have to be able to evaluate. So when we talk about OPRP and CCP, OPRP leads to the loss of OPRP leads to unsafe food, where for OPRP it leads to a risk. For critical CCP has critical limits. Sorry. CCP has critical limits. OPRP does not have critical limits. CCP needs immediate correction. OPRP needs timely correction. You just need to correct it on time. So timely correction. The other one is immediate correction. So the required outputs for this hazard analysis table, you need to have the hazard analysis table. Hazard analysis table should have, one is the process step. It should have the description of that step if possible. It should have the types of allergens or the type of hazards in that step. And then it should have the type of hazard. So the hazard, the type of hazard, and then the corrective action. So that is what we refer to as a hazard analysis table. We should also have the CCP decision tree logic. CCP decision tree logic is where you are using decision trees to determine the types of hazards. And actually, that is types of hazards you can be able to use either a decision tree or a risk assessment method. And then monitoring records, you should be able to keep that. Corrective action records are also needed. And out when you're talking about audit, during audits, you must be able to, one, justify CCP and OPRP. Justify the two. You should be able to do that. But two, you should be able to defend your hazard decisions. Why did you do a particular hazard control measures? You should be able to defend those control measures. And finally, explain the corrective actions. What actions did you take? So those are some of the things you need to take. Tufungie hapo wangwana. Hatuwezi zidi. Nikiendelea hapa mtaniambia ati umeongea mingi. Wacha tufungie hapa. Si ndio? Tujipigie makofi kwanza. Let's clap for ourselves. Yeah, thank you so much. I know we'll be finishing tomorrow 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then we deal with clause number 9 and the rest of the other clauses that are yet to come. Otherwise, it's been a moment. It's been a good time doing this. All right. Allow me to, I was here. The screen is turning black. That's the problem. I'm getting it back in a moment. Good. Good. Yeah. Hey. Kuna watu hapa wakusumbua. Perfect. Sorry. Every time I'm trying to get back from the other one, I end up stopping the whole thing. So yeah, Let's start with who? Let's start with how should we code today? Let me see the list. Let me see the list of people who are here. Let's start with Chepkoech. Chepkoech.